This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Tonight, a summer staple for Hoosier families is back open, and the staff is taking safety precautions to keep everyone safe. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. Hundreds of families are at Tibbs Drive-In tonight as they open back up for the season. Our Troy Washington was there as well. She's finding out the changes now in place due to COVID-19.
It's a date night for some. For others, it's just a reason to finally get out of the house.
First time coming to the drive-in or getting out like this.
RTV6 caught up with Philip Williams as he waited in line to find a spot at Tibbs Drive-In. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, people aren't allowed in theaters right now, but the drive-in business is booming.
We're going to see Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Yeah, nice night. So hope the rain holds off. Just going to enjoy a movie.
The owners say the lines have looked just like this every night since they opened last weekend, and they expect that the rush will continue as people look for ways to get out. Owners are giving customers $2 off the regular price now and giving families a reason to come out and camp out in front of the movie screen.
A lot of video calls, but tonight we're actually able to be with each other and just share time, energy, love.
DeMarcus Collins came out with his fiance to celebrate a friend's birthday.
I'm out here to celebrate him and her. They're unfortunately moving out of the state, but we're here to support. Actually, I grew up coming to this since I was like 5 or 6 years old, so this is the first time I've been back to Tibbs in quite a few years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it look the same?
Yeah, actually it does.
And what better way to bring in a new year of life than spending it with close friends, social distancing style, while watching a movie? Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. And since there aren't any new movies out, owners are rounding up the best classics possible and taking suggestions as well. Another change, you must stay inside your vehicle or on the back of your truck unless you are going to the restroom or concession stand. You must also buy your tickets online, and they are only allowing 725 cars, which is 50% capacity. As healthcare workers continue to fight the COVID-19 virus on the front lines, Community Health Network CEO is donating his plasma to help patients. Brian Mills tested positive for the coronavirus in March. After being in quarantine at home, he tested positive a second time and says he wasn't upset because he was sick. He was upset because he couldn't donate his plasma yet. During his treatment, he learned about the antibodies in the plasma of recovered patients and the experimental treatment that is proving to be successful. That's when he made a personal goal to donate his plasma as soon as he recovered.
It's a way to feel good, and it's a way to say, you know, I'm doing something to help in the fight, because so many of us, I have no skills, I have no real ability to fight this thing. But if I can give my blood or plasma to somebody else, then that helps. It's a great feeling.
Mills donated his plasma at Versity Blood Center in Fishers. His donation was among 171 donations they have received from Indiana donors since the program started last month. Right now, there is also an urgent need for blood donations across the state. Indiana's death toll from COVID-19 is now close to 1,600. That's 46 more deaths confirmed since yesterday. The number of confirmed cases in our state, more than 27,000. More than 171,000 people have been tested so far in Indiana. 2 Amazon employees in Indiana have died from COVID-19. One worked at a facility in Indianapolis. The other worked in Jeffersonville. In a statement, the company says the Indianapolis employee last worked on April 19th and did not show any symptoms at work. They learned of his death on April 30th. Amazon is spending $800 million on COVID-19 safety measures, which includes purchasing masks, hand sanitizer, thermometers, and other items for employees. Another big event that draws thousands of people to downtown Indianapolis has been postponed. The Holy Rosary Italian Street Festival, which was scheduled for June 12th and 13th, is postponed indefinitely due to concerns about COVID-19. Organizers say they will post updates to their Facebook page. As the pandemic continues, many Hoosiers are still staying at home, practicing social distancing and trying to avoid large crowds. You've likely seen some of the lines outside stores like Menards or Lowe's as people look to get new patio furniture, mulch, or even a new grill. A new service is now available in Indianapolis that helps you avoid going into the store. It's called Freight. The senior sales manager for the company describes it as similar to Uber Eats, but instead of bringing you food, they're bringing you larger items that you buy at the store that can't fit in your car. You just need to buy them and then select that you are picking them up at the store.
So they're going to hold it, but what happens is once you do that, then you download our app or get on our app, enter that information, put a receipt number or whatever in there. You can even take a picture of the receipt if that's easier for you. And then once you click submit or accept, it goes right to the driver pool. And like I said, from that point, the driver shows up within 60 minutes. They go in, get your stuff, and they're headed straight to your house.
Freight has been operating in Indianapolis, working with stores like Sherwin-Williams, but they recently launched the consumer side of the business in response to the demand during the pandemic. Right now, they have over 80 vehicles working in the Indianapolis area. Tonight, thousands of families in Indianapolis now have food they need to put together meals after a large donation drive at the State Fairgrounds today. People lined up today for the Mega Fresh mobile pantry put on by Gleaners Food Bank. During the pandemic, Gleaners has seen a drastic increase in the number of food insecure Hoosiers looking for help. In March and April, 13.8 million pounds of food was distributed. That's more than double the amount during the same time last year. Today, each family received about 40 pounds of food, and that included fresh fruits, vegetables, meats, and milk.
To be in need, we're seeing probably 40% of the people in our line have never needed food assistance before. So there's a lot of anxiety and nerves. We hope that by coming here that they are able to see that there is a lot of care and compassion. Hoosiers have always been very generous and we take care of our own.
Gleaners says the community has stepped up and volunteered and donated money that allowed them to buy food to feed 5,000 families today. It costs about $60,000 to provide this healthy food to the community. Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast. Meteorologist Kyle Mounds joins us now. Kyle, it was a pretty nice day.
Yeah, temperatures warmed to around 80 degrees this afternoon, even a little bit of humidity out there. And tonight, you can see really over the western half of the state, that's where we've got this complex of rain, and it is slowly lifting to the north, bringing rain around Greencastle back through the Terre Haute area along I-70. So we could have some heavy rainfall, but it's going to be fairly localized as we go through the overnight. That will continue to lift off to the north. Tomorrow morning, it's a dry and warm start with temperatures in the 60s.
Kyle, thank you. And today's weather was perfect for a pool day, but with backyard pools opening up and families spending a lot of time at home, swimming experts want to make sure your kids are safe. May is Water Safety Awareness Month. We talked to the owner of British Swim School in Hamilton County, who says she understands distractions are at an all-time high as kids complete e-learning and parents work from home. And that is why the school launched a new initiative called the Backyard Pool Patrol. It calls on parents to teach their kids the Safe Swimmer Pledge, and that includes how to be safe in and around the water, how to ask for permission, and when it's okay to get in the water.
I know how exploratory kids can be, especially kids trying to figure out a way to entertain themselves at home. And so really making sure that we know where our kids are, that we're talking about it, we're removing distractions. We have those locked fences, chimes on doors, and just being aware of what those dangers are so that everyone can have a fun and safe summer.
One of the most alarming facts, according to the owner of British Swim School, is drowning remains the #1 cause of accidental death for children under 5 years old. Swim lessons are key to helping avoid drowning, but right now during the pandemic, that's not really possible. So that is why it's recommended to talk with your kids about the Safe Swimmers Pledge. Coming up, most of the United States is fully or partially reopening this weekend, but there are fears that cases will continue to rise. And now there's new scrutiny on earlier cases involving young kids.
Just call Summers. This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11, one person is dead after a 3-car crash on the north side of Indianapolis. It happened earlier tonight on East 38th Street between North Washington Boulevard and North Delaware Street. The identity of the person killed or those involved in the crash have not been released. Additional details surrounding the incident have also not been released. Also new tonight at 11, Metro Police are investigating a shooting on the west side that left a woman in critical condition. Officers were called to the 2600 block of East Riverside Drive just after 8 o'clock this evening. They found the victim lying in the street, suffering from at least one gunshot wound. Her name has not been released and no word yet on a possible suspect or motive. A former Indianapolis Colts linebacker is facing battery charges tonight. Police arrested Antonio Morrison Thursday at Community Hospital North. He's preliminary charged with battery on a public safety official, resulting in injury. This story is still developing, and we will keep digging for more details. After weeks of stay-at-home orders, at least 48 states have begun the process of reopening, but 5 of those states now seeing an increase in cases. Meanwhile, doctors are re-examining children's medical records in light of a new COVID-related condition impacting children. Here's ABC's Karina Mitchell with the details.
Following weeks of stay-at-home orders across the country, the sunny and warm springtime weather this weekend had many people flocking to parks and beaches.
Talking to friends, we're having a good time, making the best of it.
Hundreds lining up in New Jersey trying to get beach passes for the summer season. Many public beaches still closed, but state beaches in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Delaware are planning to reopen Memorial Day weekend. But among the restrictions, concession stands will be closed.
Weather's warmer, they're going to come out. How do they act when they come out? And that is the big question mark.
Rites of passage graduation season also impacted by the pandemic. Former President Barack Obama joined LeBron James in a virtual commencement ceremony Saturday evening, celebrating the class of 2020. Earlier in the day, he took aim at the Trump administration's handling of the pandemic.
It's also pulled the curtain back on another hard truth, something that we all have to eventually accept once our childhood comes to an end. You know, all those adults that used to think were in charge and knew what they were doing, turns out they don't have all the answers.
But President Trump tweeting on Saturday, "We've done a great job on COVID response." As states grapple with how to reopen safely, new concerns about a condition affecting some children. Known as multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, the new sickness is defined by both a positive test for coronavirus or antibodies, in addition to symptoms such as fever, labs showing inflammation, and multiple organ involvement, according to CDC. At least 21 states plus the District of Columbia have cases under investigation, with New York, Michigan, and D.C. all reporting new suspected cases, and Alabama just reported its first suspected case. Doctors are now revisiting health records from late winter and early spring, investigating whether cases were misdiagnosed as Kawasaki's disease, which has similar symptoms.
We just want to make sure that any children that needed to have their heart looked at, that can now happen retrospectively. So we want to make sure that we didn't miss anyone.
Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
Karina, thank you. As the weather gets a little warmer, you might be in the mood for a strawberry shake, perhaps a hot fudge sundae. Fortville's got just the place. They've had to move service outside for a bit, and some help from a delivery service of a long ago. Our Brad Brown explains.
On most occasions, ice cream just tastes better outside.
People love ice cream. I love ice cream, and it's been fun to come up with like different themed shakes, and the creativity behind it, I really enjoy.
At Libby's in downtown Fortville, they're getting the scoop on sidewalk service.
It's been crazy. Like every day it was a different thing. So furniture was moving, walls got painted, we did some upgrades, but is the door open? Is the door closed? Just every day unknowing, and everybody asking us what we were going to do and not knowing what we were going to do.
With a spot right in the middle of Fortville's Main Street, Libby's Ice Cream and Gifts has become a gathering spot for young and old alike.
People would come in and sit, and we became family because we talk. Now we didn't have that. They would call on the phone. So we learned to stand 6 feet away and talk through the windows or talk with a crack in the window. And we just changed. We morphed. We made it work.
Curbside and outside service has been a big adjustment, but Libby's crew continues mixing up the same tasty shakes, cones, and more.
My first concern was, am I essential? And when I would ask several different people, they're like, heck yeah, you're bringing me joy. And so that made me feel better.
And there's no shortage of fun with this group. How about some dino delivery? Libby's T-Rex has been helping get ice cream to local merchants and drive-up customers. A good dose of smiles with those Sundays.
It's wacky, but it makes people laugh. It's been a great experience to realize that I'm in a village that is really here to support us.
Working for you in Fortville, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Thank you, Brad. And some ice cream will go pretty good with those temperatures close to 80 degrees again tomorrow afternoon. Tonight, well, you might be hearing a little rumble of thunder there around Brazil and Clay County. A couple flashes of lightning, nothing severe anticipated out there tonight. Just some heavy rainfall across the western portion of the state as this is all drifting to the north. Another pocket of some moderate to heavy rain for you in the Rockville area right now, and that will continue for the next couple of hours. Temperature-wise, still sitting at a very warm 71 in Indianapolis. 67 for you in Muncie, Greencastle, and Crawfordsville, also at 67. Temperatures not going to really drop off tonight. We will start off our Sunday very warm there in the middle 60s at 64 in Danville, Muncie, and Rushville. As we look at our forecast hour by hour for your Sunday here, notice we've pretty much taken the thunderstorms out of the forecast for much of the day. Temperatures as a result will continue to warm here already in the 70s by 10 a.m. and we'll get into the middle and upper 70s for that afternoon high. Some spots again could get right around 80 degrees in Richmond, Columbus at 82, 78 will be the afternoon high in Indianapolis. As we look at TrueCast for you, as we go into the afternoon and evening, this is 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, still fairly dry. We've got that complex of thunderstorms back in Illinois. We get to 8 o'clock in the evening, and we start to see that working its way into the western portion of the state. But again, it will be fairly slow moving, making progress toward Indianapolis as we get about 24 hours from now. And then we'll still have some lingering showers going into the overnight. And Monday morning, you can see more of that rain funneling in. There's going to be an area of low pressure that kind of gets hung up here, bringing us occasional chances for rain. The entire state is covered in green for really tomorrow night, a marginal risk that some of those storms that move through could have some gusty winds. On Monday, as we continue with some showers, we do get some cooler air in here. Temperatures will only make their way into the middle and upper 60s. There's a look at TrueCast as we pick up the timeline for you going into the afternoon. You can see that rain over the eastern portion of the state, but then look at what happens. It actually comes back from the east as we go into our Tuesday with more showers kind of overspreading the area. As far as rainfall potential between now and Tuesday evening, we could see some areas 1 to 3 inches of rain, and western areas picking up some of that rain tonight. Could see 3 to 4 inches of rain over the next couple of days. 7-day planning forecast for you, and those rain chances will diminish by the middle of the week, and that's when we'll start to warm things up a little bit. Highs close to 70 by Thursday. Looks like we'll get in the mid-70s Friday afternoon, and next weekend right now looking pretty nice, dry, and a high temperature of 80.
And I'm Dave First. The first major sport to get back at it comes this weekend. NASCAR is at Darlington. An Indiana native will take part. Tony Stewart will be there as well. His race team coming up in the Sports Extra Spotlight.
A lot of race fans are looking forward to tomorrow. That is when NASCAR becomes the first major sport to return after quarantine. An Indiana native will be among the drivers racing at Darlington. It's all back on track. Sports director Dave First with the Sports Extra Spotlight.
Custard review. It's been a non-stop series of finding things to do. Stewart Haas driver Cole Custer making cold custard. Or Xfinity Series teammate and Mitchell, Indiana native Chase Briscoe getting full use of his virtual racing rig. There's light at the end of the tunnel for NASCAR. This weekend, it's back to work for real.
It's almost go time. Are you guys ready?
It's been fun, got some home projects done, and stuff like that. But, I'm just ready to get back racing.
Yeah, we're all ready to go. I mean, it's been fun. It was really fun the first couple weeks, but at least on my end, I'm getting burnt out. I'm ready to go back and do the real thing. You can always substitute.
The beard game is strong, though, Chase.
The beard game's strong. It's getting cut off.
It's about time. NASCAR has set up its own standard of safety. The drivers won't have any face-to-face interaction with officials or crewmen. They'll head to the cars 10 minutes before the race, climb in, and go. No practice, no qualifying. They won't even arrive at the track until race day morning.
On a serious note, any apprehension about getting back into it?
What's going to be strange compared to normal is not having fans there. You know, you don't get to see all the fans in the stands.
I feel like at the track, we're going to be pretty safe. Like I said, even if you win, there's no high fives, no hugging, no nothing. So we're all going to be doing everything we can because we all want to go back racing as well.
It's also a part of a bigger picture for Tony Stewart's team. The series stopped in March. The team quickly turned its attention to making webcam carts for local doctors to use in intensive care units where remote monitoring of COVID patients is key.
Obviously, we have a lot of fabricators. We have a lot of CNC machines, so we can make just about anything.
Between doing that and then even we've been using the race haulers to transport stuff just because we can put so much stuff on them.
A true road to recovery, and NASCAR will begin it.
Do you feel like the eyes of the world are going to be on you guys for the next couple days?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're the only sport, you know, especially major sport that's going to be going on.
You know, it's what we do for a living. It's what we, you know, dream to do as a kid. So I think we always want to be in a race car. But it's definitely going to be stressful with no practice or qualifying, but we'll make it happen.
And fans, and maybe new ones, so many, can't wait. Day first, RTV6 Sports.
Is well-deserved and yours.
Who will be the next American Idol? We'll find out Sunday night at 8 p.m. right here on RTV6. ABC's Jason Nathanson has a preview of the season finale.
It's been a one-of-a-kind season for American Idol. No big audience-filled live shows, the contestants singing from home.
Honestly, it's weird when your like relaxing space turns into like your American Idol set. Some folks like
Julia Gargano has a solid shot at winning the title, at least according to Judge Katy Perry.
I would say Johnny West and Julia Gargano. Johnny sounds like he's ready to go pro. He is pro. He's pro. So pro.
Wheels go round and round. It doesn't feel like a competition, you know, especially with what's going on. I think there's bigger fish to fry in the sense that we need to just connect with people and get them out of their quarantine zone.
Sunday night, the top 7 will be cut down to 5 at the beginning of the show, with the East Coast voting live to pick the next American Idol.
It could easily be Francisco.
Right.
Or it could be Louis Knight, you know, or Arthur.
For me, Arthur Gunn, he has that sound all by himself.
Yes, you want her.
It's definitely a great honor, and the next thing I'll be thinking about is just making music.
And don't count out fan favorite Just Sam, who's not just doing this for herself.
My grandmother thinks that, you know, things like this can't happen for her. But if it's happening for me, oh yeah, it's happening for her.
And whether it's Just Sam or Johnny West or any of the other final 7, Judge Lionel Richie says, in a way, it almost doesn't matter who wins.
They're all going to come down with careers. I'm going to tell you this right now. Just
come
everybody
up with careers for sure.
Yeah, it's just there.
The American Idol season finale airs Sunday night on ABC. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Rain mainly over the western half of the state tonight. We could hear a couple rumbles of thunder. And then tomorrow, most of the day is going to be dry until we get into the evening and overnight hours with some more rain and cooler next week.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Have a great night.